Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about Kriya Yoga and the secret of manifestation. So spiritual ideas about manifestation have been around since the late 19th century. For example, there are some references in The Secret Doctrine by H.P. Blavatsky of theosophical fame regarding this. And these teachings posit that one may use one's powers of thought to manifest things in the physical world. For example, in his 1944 Law of Success, Yogananda writes, "Mind is the creator of everything. If you cling to a certain thought with dynamic willpower, it will finally assume a tangible outward form. When you are able to employ all your will, always for constructive purposes, you become the controller of your destiny." And we see in the general culture this arising of the idea that thought creates one's destiny in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. He notes that in addition to strong desire to achieve a goal, when faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. All thoughts which have been emotionalized to given feeling and mixed with faith begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent or counterpart. And in his introduction, he says, "This book contains the secret after being put to a practical test by thousands of people in almost every walk of life. It was Mr. Carnegie's idea that the magic formula, which gave him a stupendous fortune, ought to be placed within reach of people who do not have time to investigate how men make money. And it was his hope that I might test and demonstrate the soundness of the formula through the experience of men and women in every calling." And Napoleon Hill had some severe financial challenges until he was able to publish that book, which caught on and made him quite wealthy. As this was 1937, in the midst of the Depression, there was enough interest in this topic in the collective imagination. Hill may have been influenced by Waddell's 1910 publication of The Science of Getting Rich, in which he writes, "Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created." And some of these ideas about the ability of the mind to manifest physical reality are contained within Yogananda's writings. A wish is a desire that you think cannot come true. Stronger than wish is intention to do a thing, or to satisfy some wish or desire. But will means a motivating desire plus application of energy to bring that desire to fruition. It means continuous, concentrated action until that desire is fulfilled. And the New Age movement has included similar such teachings on manifestation, such as The Secret, which draws directly on Wallace's The Science of Getting Rich, and the Law of Attraction. The underlying idea of these philosophies is that anyone who thinks positively enough can become prosperous. As Wallace notes in his Near Enemies of the Truth, the idea that you create your own reality disproportionately acknowledges the efforts of the privileged while discouraging the efforts of the underprivileged. He also notes that it can have harmful effects where one blames oneself for one's current conditions instead of examining such conditions to see what can be done. Although we all have a role for how things unfold in our lives, the idea that we control our own reality is absurd because we are subjected to a plethora of causes and conditions of which we have no control, such as genetics, family upbringing, socioeconomic status, and so on. But is there nothing to this idea of manifestation at all? Does a higher power play no role in our destiny, and is there no way to connect with such a power? Thankfully, our capacity to be joyful regardless of external circumstances is not a result of visualization or of positive thinking, but the result of accessing our true essence nature. But to do this, however, we need to recognize that what we call the self is nothing but a mental construct of self-referential thought that is governed by its own conditioning. It can't actually do anything other than reflect on what it experiences. The way to freedom and happiness, then, is the submersion of this mentally constructed self in the essence of what we already are, where the ego self no longer has the energy to put itself back together. Humpty Dumpty has fallen off the wall. There are many different methods for revealing this true essence nature, one of which is meditation. And in the meditation path, it can be very helpful to access the intuition, which is beyond the confines of self-referential thought. It can give us unerring insight into causes and conditions which are precipitating our suffering, and what we can do to release our identification with those causes and conditions, thereby allowing for that melting of the imagined self into the true essence of being. So if you've been trying to manifest what you want in your life through some kind of spiritual practice, is it actually addressing the deeper need, or is it addressing the whims of ego consciousness? Have you chosen something that will actually bring you true lasting happiness, or have you chosen something that once you attain it will never satisfy you? Once you have ready access to your true essence nature, you find that in every moment you are filled with the joy of being. That you no longer chase after the future, but embrace the current experience with the joy of being. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.